Hey guys, welcome to our team call for August. Here sipping on my Shakeology, we've got Michelle and Selena here with us tonight. I am not going to take up a lot of time because they've got so much that they're going to share with you, and I want to give them all the time tonight to speak. But real quick, before we go into hearing from them, I do want to remind you guys that we've got events coming up in October. We have Super Friday, okay, that's for the Spanglish market. So if you speak English and Spanish, or if you have bilingual coaches, we'll have that event in both English and Spanish, kind of going back and forth, Miami style. And if you would like to attend the regular event solely in English, that one's happening on Sunday, Super Sunday. Both of them are going to be at the Miami airport, like we always have them. And so tickets are on sale for both events. Make sure you get your tickets, especially so for the Super Friday, because that one we don't have a big room. We are limited seating there, because we kind of registered a little bit late with the hotel. And so we are capped at 50 people. Like, that's the most we can possibly fit in this room. So if you want to be there, it's going to be really great. It's something new, something different. We're going to have Craig Collier for both events. Make sure that you register ASAP. Okay? And you didn't hear from me, but there's a huge 99.9999% possibility that you will get to test out hammer and chisel. Really cool. With that, also, reminder on trainings happening. So we've launched in September, Fast Track New Coach Training. A lot of you guys are in there right now. We have Emerald to Diamond happening next week. We've already launched a BizOp call. I did earlier in the month. And next week, Nina is going to be hosting a business opportunity call in Spanish. So if you have coaches, potential coaches, prospects that are thinking about the business, but they speak solely Spanish, or maybe Spanish is their first language, you definitely want to plug them into this business opportunity call with Nina. It will be recorded so you can use it for future prospects. Happens to be the situation where Spanish is their stronger language, or they only speak Spanish. What else do I have on here? Oh, 3-day sneak peek. Veronica and Janine are going to be hosting a 3-day sneak peek into Beachbody coaching, and that's starting on Monday. So make sure you get out there and invite, okay? That means that even if you got to put an announcement with a picture of you talking about coaching, or maybe, they had a really great idea of putting a picture of them at Summit with a bunch of coaches that kind of really gets the feel of what coaching's about. Do that. Get out there, spread the word. The more people we have in there, the better the audiences, and they are prepared. They have worked very hard on videos, and I'm super excited for them. So one more thing, on Monday I will also be launching Social Media Bootcamp. And I know that on our team calendar it said it was going to start this Monday, but I decided to postpone it until next week, since we were going to have this call specifically on social media. And we're going to have Michelle, who her job in her everyday life is a social and digital strategist. So that's, in other words, a social media expert. And so she's going to share with you tons of tips tonight. And I'm also going to be collaborating with her on the material that I have for Social Media Bootcamp, because, hey, she's an expert. And so I wanted to push that 1 week just so we could get through this call and you guys can get her top 5 tips, and then we'll move forward from there. So without further ado, first we're going to hear from Selena. And I want you guys to know that tonight, the topic of the night is knowing your story, okay? I want you guys to all understand that your story and your why are kind of all put together in a nice package. When you know why you're here, you know why you want to pursue coaching, you know why you want to help others while helping yourself, that's golden. It's golden because it's not you throwing dartboards at the air. It's you throwing dartboards at a dartboard. You know where you're going, you know what you want. But part of that is also knowing your story, why it is that you want these things. What makes you tick? What makes you fight every single day for maybe your own health and fitness, for your own business, for whatever it is that keeps you motivated when it comes to your Beachbody business. Whatever it is, whether it's health and fitness or business related. And so Selena's story is really powerful, and I don't think enough people on our team know her story. So I wanted her to share it with you guys so that you can see the power of knowing your why. And then we're going to follow that up with Michelle, which is going to teach us how to most effectively share your why when it comes to social media. So here we go. Let's start off with Selena. Selena, join us.
Hello.
Hey, thank you for being on tonight.
Thank you for having me.
So
It's
take it away. I'm going to mute
an
myself.
honor to be here and to be able to share my story. It's probably, I don't say it too often, um, and I don't dig into it as often as I probably should, which will make a really big difference in my everyday life. So for most of you, if you follow me, a big part of my life today is the fact that I am an alcoholic in recovery. And I have been sober for 3.5 years, God willing, in October. And it's through that experience that was really, really dark that I have become the person that I am today. And it's awesome because I never would have imagined to be aligned so well with my purpose. And Beachbody plays a really big role in that purpose. So after getting sober, after a year of being sober, I had gained about 50 to 60 pounds. To backtrack a little bit more, I had always struggled with weight. I was overweight during, my teen years. I was bullied, everything that kind of happens to the average person. I struggled through it, and I went through that, and it affected my self-esteem. A lot of other issues did as well. Parents, and I mean, I can't blame anybody today, and I've learned that, thank God. But everything played a role into where I am today. So the fact that I was so obsessed about my weight throughout my life played a role into my using of drugs and of drinking. It was the easy way out for me. I hardly ate when I was on drugs. I mean, I joke about it. I call it the Coke diet, and pun intended, to be honest with you. And I mean, it was, in my mind, it felt like I was, not that I was doing the right thing, but it was like, all right, well, this is what I've always wanted to be, right? I've always wanted to be thinner. I've always wanted to feel more confident. I've always wanted to, love myself a little bit more. And I thought that all of that love and that self-love and that self-worth was dependent on my weight. And I was so wrong. It's just so wrong. It has nothing to do with any of that, I've learned that today, though. So I had to go through my struggles in order to realize that it's not healthy to be so obsessed about the physical. I've learned that as long as I focus on the spiritual, then everything else falls into place, and what other thing can be as spiritual as what we do in Beachbody? I think it's a matter of perception, and it's a mindset. But as a Beachbody coach, I've been able to build relationships, and to be honest with you, for me, that's where I see God working in my life. I'm able to humble myself. I'm able to be compassionate. I'm forced to understand and empathize with other people's situations, and that teaches me to be a better human being. And that's what Beachbody has done, through my story. So I reached a very dark place at the end of 2011 into 2012, and I sought help after paying some really dear consequences with my alcoholism. And God is really good because he put the right people in my path, and he did that with Beachbody as well, at the right time, because you have to be ready to receive the blessings. That's another thing. You have to be ready to put into action all these things that we ask you or we try to teach you to do. If you're not ready, then it's just not going to happen. But so during my first year of sobriety, I gained 50 to 60 pounds. I was devastated. There were a lot of times that I wanted to relapse just so I can lose the weight, just because I wasn't accepting myself as how I was, although I was healthy. I was actually eating, and I was sleeping, and I was living a normal life, and I wasn't dependent on alcohol and drugs to cope with things. But here I am with 50 to 60 pounds and feeling really shitty about myself still. So I realized that there was no easy way out anymore, because my life really is dependent on me being sober. And I had to find a way. And by chance, thank God that we still keep in touch with our high school friends through Facebook. I love Facebook. But you know what? Bridget shared her story, and I think I probably saw it like 2 or 3 times. I reached out. She told me about, the options, and of course the whole money issue. And I'm like, oh, I don't really know. I'll let you know. And, she practiced everything that we preach, and she built a relationship. She used a form. She asked me, and I used to think, like, what is wrong with her? She's asking me about Desi? Like, what does she really know? It's been so long, and it worked because I felt like that connection had been established. So when I was ready and I was desperate enough to lose the weight and I was willing to put in the work required to take back control of my physical health, she was there. And I felt that I could trust her. And that's exactly how it happened. I said, you know what? I'm ready. She even bought the challenge pack for me. I gave her my credit card information. I'm like, go do whatever you have to do. I have to be a coach to get it cheaper. I need the cheapest way possible. And that's how we started. And she put me with Combat. And from the moment that day that I received it, I had made my mind up, and I was taught when I was getting sober, and it's something that I practice every day, that a decision is just a decision. There's this guy that always tells the story. There's 3 frogs that are sitting on a log. One decides to jump. How many are there still? There's 3, because it was just a decision. I have to back up my decision with action. And that means that I need to put in the work. And that means when you need to eat healthy, you need to do the workouts, you need to help other people, you need to go out of your comfort zone and put that action. And that's the only way that things are going to develop and the results are going to come. You can sit there and decide, I'm going to be a Beachbody coach. I'm going to do this. I'm going to help a million people. This is for me, but I'm going to do it later. Decide all you want, but until you put the work, you're not going to get any results. And it's hard work. It's not easy work. We work with people. We work against time sometimes. We work against money, and people are so absorbed by that. And it's challenging. But guess what? When people make that commitment, like I did with Bridget, how much has it impacted everybody's life? I mean, this is huge. And I try to tell my coaches that what we do here, it's so amazing. Like, we're literally changing lives, and we're in control of creating positive ripples in their life, extending to their family, to their children, to their spouses, and et cetera, and et cetera. And that's the beauty of it all, when you really look at it in that perception. And I try to look at that in that perception at all times, because that helps me keep my motives clean. I'm not so focused on the freedom. Yes, I want freedom. I have a really deep why. It goes back to seeking financial freedom for my mom, for myself, for my daughter, having her ready. She'll be 13 soon. I'll have to buy her a car, all these type of things that I want to do for her. So yes, of course, I'm seeking financial freedom, but I know that it'll come as long as I'm doing the next right thing, and I'm putting people before me, and I'm there for them the way that they need me to be, and I'm not just using them to get the Success Club point or to sell the challenge pack, or just because I offer my services to everybody, whether they have bought the challenge pack from somebody else or whether they've had it sitting on their shelves. Whatever it is, I'm okay, let's do this. Because I realize also in this business, we're not so much selling the products, we're selling our services. We want people to say, okay, well, I remember that girl that used to post about her workouts all the time and how she managed to stop eating animal meat and now she feels amazing and she's made mistakes. I want to talk to that girl, because that's what people are going to remember. So, it's been about 2 years, almost 3 years in March of next year, that I've been a Beachbody coach. I was your typical discount coach. I want nothing to do with the team calls. I don't want anything to do with the events. Thanks, Bridget, but no, that's not really for me. And I struggled, I struggled fitting in, and that all tied into that. I struggled fitting in. Bridget, in my eyes, came from like the popular crowd in high school, and I was just not, I knew who we were, like, we were cordial, but I wasn't part of that clique, so I still struggled with that. And now, I mean, it's so cool because I don't feel that in Beachbody. We're all one big happy family, not just in our team, but across the board. Diesel Nation, and when I went to Summit, I felt it. You can just approach people and say hi, and they're willing to help you without any, ulterior motives. So last year, around August, the fact when Monica decided to leave her paralegal job, and I knew Monica, right? So she wasn't this idea of like Christina, because back then I hadn't met Christina in person, but I knew Monica. Here's a real person that I went to high school with, who has a family, who has seen the possibility in this business, and she made the decision to quit and pursue this full time. I knew that there was an opportunity there. And I knew that I can seek and gain financial freedom through that opportunity. So since then, I changed my mindset. I went from being, the mindset of, okay, I'm just doing this for me. It's already been a year and a half. It's kind of time to pass it forward. But I realized the opportunities. And at first, it was that financial freedom. Now, down the line, it's been more, wow, we're really positively impacting people's lives. Like, people, share their why with me. It's one of the things that I do with people when they first decide to commit to a challenge pack. I ask them, what's your why? I want to know your why. because it's going to help me keep you accountable. And some of the whys that I've heard are just like, wow, sometimes overwhelming, because it's like, am I really going to be able to help somebody do this? Am I going to really be able to hold them accountable and to support them through this? And it can be intimidating. But to be honest with you, the only secret that I have is I just ask for my creator's help, and I know that the universe aligns everything exactly how it needs to be. And I just go with the flow in that sense. It's probably been the best decision that I've made. Some people have not, there's been friends, very close friends, that have thought, oh, that's just a pyramid scheme, you're never going to be able to do that. And it's crazy. One particular friend said it, but yet her friend was a coach in the network that was doing what I was aiming to do. And she told me, you know what, you're just not going to be able to do that because she has a supplemental income from her husband. And it's just, you can't afford to do that. And you know what? I've never been the type of person to be motivated by people saying no, because it just doesn't matter. I'm a self-starter. But I was just like, this is bullshit. You're not going to tell me that I can't do it, because I know that it's possible, because Monica's done it, because Christina's done it, because people have done it, and that installed the hope in me that it is possible. It's just a matter of putting in the work. Fine. So I don't have an income where I can just say, all right, let me depend on that. That means I'm going to have to pull the late hours that, Becky Bros is talking about. I'm going to have to make time to make this happen, and it's all a matter of mindset. Last week, I saw one of my coaches, and she's like, you're like nonstop. I'm like, you know what? I'm nonstop now, but in 5 years, tell me again, and I'll tell you, how I am. And it's just, what are you willing to do to get the things that you want and that you've always dreamed of? And since I've had that type of mentality, I've gone full force into working the Beachbody business. I've, done things out of my comfort zone. I've really helped people feel better about themselves, because it's not just a weight loss. It's great. We all want to lose weight. But I mean, I hope that what I'm doing is working with people enough for them to be able to tap into the power that they lost along their, the way, where they got to that point, like, who am I? What have I done to myself? How has this affected my marriage? How has this affected, every other aspect of my life? And it's because you get lost in fear and resentment, all emotions that I dealt with during my alcoholism, that I'm able to now identify and relate to with people. And that's how my story plays a daily role in what I do as a Beachbody coach, because I'm able to say, you know what, I've been there. I beat myself up. I know what it feels like. Please pat yourself in the back. Praise yourself, keep moving forward, and you just don't ever give up, and do the best that you can. And so it's been a great journey. This is not a choice. This is something that's in my life, and it's a solution to a lot of the things that, at least financially, that I struggle with. And I know that it's going to open the doors for so many other possibilities. And it's just, could you believe it? I mean, this is just stemming from buying a challenge pack. I mean, I have a support group. I have people that I can rely on, and I have relationships. And honestly, when I was out there drinking, all I did was destroy relationships. I wanted nothing to do with anybody, because it was all about me. And now it's completely opposite. Now I get to pay it forward, and that's why I'm really serious about being genuine about my motives, which I can guarantee you is a key to my business being as successful as it is, because every day I make sure to ask, please help me help somebody else. And it's not about the money, it's about, let me make a difference in somebody's life. And from there, everything falls into place. So that's what I have.
Wow! I don't know about you guys, but I swear my mind was blown. I got goosebumps when you said, all I used to do was destroy. And now it's the opposite. I help and pay it forward. That was huge. That was huge, Selena. And I love everything you're saying. And this is exactly what I wanted you on tonight's call, because I don't know if all of you guys on our team know where Selena comes from. And there's a reason why, if you watch her social media, because obviously I'm friends with her, and I'm always checking everybody's page. She's always got these inspirational things to say. She always has the right words, and you could tell that it oozes out of her the confidence in what she's doing today. And I've always appreciated that about her. You said it. You said that because of your problems, now you're able to now align yourself with other people and their situations, and be a little more understanding and relate a little bit better. And that wouldn't be, you wouldn't know a rock bottom had you not hit it. You know, you wouldn't know what it is to feel so bad about yourself and finally regain the control and feel so good about yourself, you know? Even if, you know, like you said, I used to put it all on whatever it is I look like in the mirror, and today it's more spiritual. That's very powerful, and you're right. It aligns perfectly with what we talk about with Beachbody, because we're not preaching to be perfect, you know, physically. We're preaching to be healthy, happy, live this healthy and fulfilling life. Like, fulfilling means all around, not just what you look like. So I love that, Selena, you hit it right on, exactly what I wanted everyone to feel. And thank you so much for being on tonight's call. We're going to pass it on over to Michelle. Okay, so Michelle's going to give us her top 5 tips. I think she kept it to 5. I don't know. I might be wrong. He's like, Monica, I have so much to say. I have so much I want to teach them. I think I'm going to even do a follow-up PowerPoint because I got so much in my mind that I want to tell them. So take it away, Michelle. We are your students for the night. Go for it.
All right, guys. So, like Monica mentioned, I kind of do this for my job. I love being on social, and I work for a PR firm, and one of my biggest clients are AT&T and Procter and Gamble. So I'm kind of gifted with, and I have the honor and pleasure of learning how people behave online and reacting to them and seeing what makes people tick. And it's funny because part of what attracts us to Beachbody and what I think all of us can say are our initial engagements with our coaches and what gets us into it is what we see them do on social media. Selena's story is just phenomenal. Like, at some point I just had chills, and I would have never known that looking at her social or Facebook page. It could be maybe she's not ready to share it, maybe she doesn't know how to share it, because some people aren't that comfortable with sharing their story, but there's ways where you can frame your story, and you'll be really surprised whether it's your weight loss story, whether it's your story of you struggling through something, whatever story you might have, there's someone that wants to hear it, but you need to know how to share it. And what the message that I want you guys to walk away when this is done is this. Your message always should be subliminally, share this moment with me. Not, look at me, I'm so cool. It should be, share this moment with me, talk to me, share with me. Because in the end, that's what we're doing. We're sharing so much of ourselves with our leads, with our coaches, with our teams. We want people to feel this experience with us. Selena, I know Monica can attest to it. I know Selena follows me. I'm dealing with postpartum depression. I know I'm all cheery and stuff, but it might not look like it, but I do. And using social, and because of what I've done, I started sharing my story, and I've encountered women who have messaged me privately and told me, I suffered from this as well, you're not alone. And that led into me talking about 21 Day Fix and how I'm using exercise as part of my healing process. And if you guys are in the Diesel Core page, you saw that today I posted, I just started posting about Fix, and I'm already getting organic emails. And that is like one of the key words you want to take away with you as well, organic. The best kind of outreach we can get and some input we can get is when we don't have to do the outreach. Of course, it's part of the job. It's what's going to cost us late hours, Excels, what have you. But when you are so good, or when you get to a point that even if it's one person a week that shares with you, even if it's one person a week that just reaches out once and wants to know, is just curious, then you've achieved it. You've piqued the interest. So with that being said, number 1 is really basic, and it's a very small thing you can do, but it'll make a difference in all your profiles, is you got to make your mark. And you have to fill out your online profiles, whether you're on Twitter, whether you're on Snapchat, whether you're on Periscope, whether you're on Facebook. You need to give people the impression of who you are. You need to think that you're optimizing for 5 seconds. If somebody's scrolling through Facebook or Instagram, you have to give them a reason to stop. And if you have millions of paragraphs, they might not stop. If you're not saying anything about yourself, especially on Instagram, it's just your name, a blank space, maybe some emojis. People don't know about you, and they're not going to want to continue to know about you. So great things you can do: use short, concise adjectives. Don't just describe yourself as a Beachbody coach. What I've seen a lot of people do, I'm sure Monica does it, I've seen Christina do it, they'll talk about their experience in their bios, and they'll mention Beachbody coach, but if you see, it'll say like mom, former lawyer, fitness expert, an entrepreneur. They'll find all these other things that the Beachbody is in there, but that's a part of who they are. There are all these other women all these other facets of their life, and they bring that in their profile. So no matter what you do, show up your interests. You can say, mine would be like, Michelle, I'm a plus size mom. I don't even have that I'm a digital strategist in my profile. I'm a blogger. I'm a marathoner, and I say that I share daily posts about confidence in food. If you're a mom, you can put that, be like, mommy of 3 trying to make it happen. If you're a dad, if there's guys on the call, you can be like, dad chilling with my family, loving sports, loving the Dolphins, go Fins. Things that are going to relate to people, things about you that people are going to want to stop and relate to. Another thing that's important is your picture. A lot of us, we have different pictures on social. I know that I have a different picture, I think, for Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and Snapchat. I'm on like every platform. But I actually try to keep at least 3 of my profile pictures the same across the different platforms. If you notice, the businesses like Nike, Apple, the big businesses, they'll keep their Twitter profile the same. They'll keep their picture the same because that's brand recognition. And you want, especially if you're starting in this business and you're trying to branch out into social, you want whatever people are seeing of you on Twitter or on Instagram, they're seeing it on Facebook. They're recognizing, they're starting to connect. Oh, that's Monica. Oh, that's Bridget. Oh, that's Michelle. I want to give like a super quick shout out because, for example, Bridget, I recognize her because her hashtag is the crazy alemans, and I love it. That is something that she owns, and her photo is recognizable. I know who Bridget is. I knew who she was before I even met her because she kind of built organically her own family brand. So think about it that way. When you do your picture, it should be 80% of your face and 20% background. You shouldn't have like Manguita, Juana, a flower, a bike. It needs to be your face. People need to see who you are. Face the light. It should be coming in front of you. This isn't the time for you to like take one of those really bad iPad pictures and put it as your photo. It needs to be like a picture of your face, nice and shiny, briny. Or if it's a really good picture of, if you want to show off your body, like, your hammer and chiseled up, you can do that too. But again, it has to be bright, clear, something that people are going to walk away with. Think about how you feel when you look at other profiles and you think it's spam. If you get a profile that is just a body or is just a body part, you're like, oh, this is like spam. Somebody's trying to spam me and make me follow like a sexy account. If you're going to show it, be sure that people are seeing a face and people are being able to connect you. And because that can potentially scare off new clients. That can potentially make people think, well, this person has always been skinny and they're just showing off their always skinny body. This doesn't apply to everybody. It's just assessment for your own profiles, and it's things that I've noticed working in this industry, and how people react to profiles and why they might engage or not engage. And lastly, for your profile, you can try to make a mantra. It can be simple. So, for example, Nike does authentic athletic performance. Toyota is let's go places. Beachbody has and the trend. Size has size it up. We do hashtag 21-day fix. I have that I do mine on my healthy fat chick is your daily dose of food, workouts, and body confidence. Not in that order. Have something, even if it's a corny quote, even if it's a lyric, it could be un dicho that your grandmother told you. Have something that you want people to remember you by. Have your mantra, and it will be really powerful because you'll find if you find a mantra, you'll be able to stick with that and make that part of your brand. So I'm going to move on from there. So I know I spent a lot of time, but you would be surprised how much that one little step of having a really good profile and really good bio setup can really set the tone for like the rest of your journey. So secondly, mix it up. So something that I notice on a lot of our Beachbody coach pages here in Miami and beyond is that we love sharing our food pictures. The only thing is that sometimes these food pictures, y'all, we're not trying to see your empty ass shaker cup and some like sad little salad. Like, you're doing the fix. You should be eating good food. And on top of that, it's not always all about food. And so when you're doing these pictures, the same workout and food post isn't going to keep people coming back. They're going to be like, there she goes putting a picture of un té. There she goes putting a picture of like un pedazo carne. No. You need to think to yourself, would I like this? Ask yourself every time you're about to post and it's related to your brand and it's related to Beachbody and trying to reach people. Would I like this? Would I share this? would I tag somebody else to look at this? So when you're about to put up that picture of your dinner that maybe that's not so great because not every day is going to be a 5-star dinner from Fix 8, let's be real. Do you really need to share it? Do people really need to know? Or could you approach it another way? A good example, Monica the other day showed a great way of making sunny side eggs. It was like a super awesome life hack. She could have just as easy shown the eggs there, and we would have been like, oh, cool, she made eggs. Good for her. Instead, she showed it, and I was even like, oh my god, I'm gonna try to make eggs that way because I always fuck my egg. Oops, sorry. I always mess my eggs up. So think through those things. Every time you're about to post something, think through it. If you're gonna do a workout, maybe you don't do the entire routine. You show your favorite routine, or you show the part where you struggled, or you show the and in your caption, in your copy under the, whether it's Instagram or Facebook, explain it. Say, I made it, I did it, or this was really hard for me, and why. And again, vary it up. We know you're working out every day, and your audience will know you're working out every day. It's all in how you execute. Your post should be sharing your goals, sharing a favorite quote, and doing what we call a call to action. A call to action is you're asking them, and you guys might know this already, to do something for you. So like this, share this, tell me what you think. Yesterday I posted about I make chicken ropa vieja, and I said I have all this chicken ropa vieja left. What do I do with it? And people were like, make empanada, do enchilada, girl. We will tell you stuff to do. I threw in there that it was 21 Day Fix approved, and someone was like, well, I don't know if it's approved or not, but here's maybe something you can do, and it led to the person later asking me, what is 21 Day Fix anyway? So it's different ways of playing with your pictures. Make them look pretty. Again, if you wouldn't like it or share it, then it shouldn't be going on your page to promote your business. But with that being said, you have to be authentic and be real. And this goes back to like Selena's story. What she just told us was so real, and she is going to find her way to relate to her customers. Maybe she can share a quote about a day that she had. Maybe she shares her journey through a variety of posts. She can introduce it saying, this was my darkest, it could be a picture of the year she finally overcame her alcoholism, and she can say, it could say like the year, this is the year that meant everything to me. Follow me this week and you'll find out why. And then people will come back and want to know her story. And toward the end, she can get to the point. It could be a series of a week of her telling her story by doing visuals. People should be looking at your pages and looking at the visuals and saying, wow, this picture literally tells a story. Have a reason for posting, and don't just do it because it's Monday and you need to check in and do your post. That's what we have our coach check-in pages for. Have a reason for posting. Maybe you did something really awesome today. Maybe something is on your mind about your life or about something going on in general, and you want to get people's opinion. Or maybe you just hit something so awesome that you need to share it. But don't just share it because it's Monday and you need to put it out there. You need to have a reason. And if it doesn't work, you might try different things. It's okay to change. If you are like, oh, I'm just posting this food post because that's what we have to do, change it up. Then don't do the food post. Show a recipe, show a Pinterest board, show a restaurant that you like that you made work for your plan. Again, we're all real people. We're not, by all means, we're not the Tony Hortons and Autumns of the world, but we are trying to show people how getting to these goals is realistic and how we're doing it. Which brings me to my next. We're going to expand your social horizons. I know a lot of you have Facebook, a lot of you have Instagram. I have a lot of them. There's so many other options for using social. Personally, I do not like Facebook. I think, and mostly because the way Facebook puts things into your feed is very tricky, and unless somebody is liking your post a lot or sharing your post a lot, they're not stopping for it. Also, people aren't stopping to read long posts on Facebook. If you're going to use Facebook, you already know Facebook is your close friends, your family, people you went to school with. So you really it's almost like a little more difficult to reach those people on Facebook because they've probably seen it a couple of times, they've scrolled over, they can block you. So you really need to take the time to evaluate where you're getting the most traction and action and maximize that potential. So if you're seeing that when you post on Facebook, you're getting 1 like, but Instagram, you're at least getting 20, then don't do Facebook anymore. It's not working, and it's okay. Because it's better to have your business booming on Instagram and getting people coming to you, or booming on Snapchat or Periscope, than having Facebook and sitting there trying to make it work when sometimes it's not you, it's the system, it's the way that Facebook works that's working against you. Best practices: don't tag people on Facebook that either you have never spoken to, have nothing to do with them. They're going to ignore it. They don't want to feel spammed. I know if just today somebody tagged me in a post like 50 most beautiful women I know. Thank you. That feels good. But I'm not going to open the post because I got stuff to do. But thanks. And that's how people feel. They don't want to feel invaded. They're not going on social media to feel their personal life invaded. So what you're trying to do is just you're sharing and hoping they want to be a part of it. So when you're doing Facebook posts, maybe you bullet things out. You don't do a huge paragraph. So you can say, if you have a lot to say, you should have like an intro line, 4 bullets, and then 3 other lines. And then share the rest in a video, a visual, like, or even in the comment section. For Instagram, a lot of you guys like to do hashtag tags for likes, hashtag tags, hashtag insta tag, hashtag Cuba, hashtag Little Havana, hashtag. How's that working for y'all? Let me know. I want to know how that works, because really what you should be doing for your hashtag strategy, there's a feature on Instagram, if you use it often, when you start typing in the hashtag, it'll show you how many posts that hashtag has generated. So if you do a 21-day fix, if you guys can pick up your phones right now, go to Instagram, write in hashtag 21-day fix, and let it open up a menu. It'll show you how many posts are tagged with 21-day fix. Then right after that, it'll show you other variations of the 21-day fix hashtag that have been used and how many times it's been used on social. And that can be your guiding point as to how you want to use it. And the other fun part about hashtags is that you can make up your own. Like I mentioned earlier, Bridget does the crazy alemans. Last night I did linguini legs because I did 21-day fix for the first time, the cardio fix. And as a former marathoner that hasn't worked out in 12 months, my legs was like linguini. And maybe I didn't enjoy it, but it got people's attention. It made them laugh and it made them look at it. And you don't have to do a million hashtags. You can be effective with the right hashtags and the right call to action, like I mentioned earlier. So your post on Instagram should be a couple of lines, your hashtags, and if you want to go ahead and do your FCAT essay of hashtags, do it in a separate comment so that it doesn't eat up what you want people to take away from you, because we know you still want that traction. For Snapchat and Periscope, I know a lot of people are Periscoping now, which is awesome. But another option, if you don't have Periscope because you might not be comfortable with live streaming, you might not know how it works, is Snapchat. Snapchat, it's 15-second snaps. You get it with your phone. They have super fun filters. You can snap your story. You can snap your workout. You can snap a day at Super Saturday. You can snap this call. You can be on phone. Like, I'm on my team call with Snapchat. You can get people to follow you and want to share your story through there. And what's great about social is that you can connect all these platforms. You can be on Instagram and share that clip of your workout and say, want to know more? See the rest of it on Periscope. Then you can be on Periscope and say, well, that was my workout for the day, but see what else I'm doing on Snapchat. And then on Facebook, you can just tell people, hey, y'all, here's everywhere you can find me if you don't want to see me here. And that's just the beauty of it. Don't be repetitive. Find what works for you. When you're doing TBT or MCW or Women Crush Wednesday, maybe start your own trend. Maybe your TBT is, from a time where you were really low, or maybe your TBT was the first time you became a Beachbody coach. Maybe your TBT was from the morning when you had breakfast and you loved it. You can really make it your own. Sunday nights and Monday morning posts do really well because people can relate to like the weekend ending, trying to start like what's the saying? Like all good diet, every Monday's a good chance to start fresh. And if you even look at your Instagram, you'll see people on Sunday nights are like, oh, I'm ready for Sunday. And everywhere people are bitching about Sunday. So why not take advantage of that and be positive or put a message out there saying that you relate. Share your post about how you're there too. I did it, I think, this past week when it was raining. But don't be repetitive. Try to give yourself, if you're repeating the same post once a week, you're doing it wrong. You don't have to post every day, but when you post, and if you post and you post effectively, it'll do more for you and your business and your social presence than posting every day and just looking like spam. And that's really what you end up looking like when you do these posts that aren't really going anywhere. They're the same things over and over. They're bland. They're not well lit. It just looks like spam, and it's not attracting people to the business because they're like, oh, this must be what they're doing. This must just be, this is a checklist that they're doing, and we don't want to look like we're fulfilling a checklist. We want to know, like, I'm sharing this because you need to know this story. So my last one is appreciate your audience. Before you post, ask yourself, how can I add value to this conversation? Always do your homework, check accounts, tag different people in your posts. As for on Instagram and Twitter, you can tag the trainers. You can tag the trainers in the post, and they can be they can be. I've tagged Autumn. Autumn's like my post. Sorry, I'm also I'm so apologies. People don't want to be sold to. They want to feel like they can trust you and like you have more to offer than just Beachbody products. And I think we can all agree that when like kind of what Selena said earlier, when we talk to people about this, they're like, oh, it's a pyramid scheme. Oh, it's a business. Oh, it's whatever. We don't want them to feel that way. We want them to know, no, this is my life. This is my life, and Beachbody is a part of it. It's a genuine part of my life. I wake up and I have my Shakeology because it's a part of my day. So when you have your Shakeology in the morning, maybe you're not doing the selfie with it. Maybe it's in the background. Maybe it's in your cup holder as you're driving your kids to work. Maybe as you're planning your meals, you have the fix book in the background. Maybe as you're sharing something, there's weights in your hand. There's a water bottle. There's so many ways to be inconspicuous about it, but people can see, oh, well, she's not bullshitting. It's in her life. Like, it's everywhere. She doesn't, but it's not in her face. And here's like a bonus. Keep in mind that it's a privilege to be speaking on behalf of a brand, because that's really what we're doing. We are Beachbody ambassadors, and we all have to think how we feel when we see a celebrity or an ambassador coming at us. How do we want to become at? How do we want to have people come at us and then bring that out into the world? So think about Beachbody, bleeding Beachbody blue, everything that you feel about that company and about the brands and about the products, and be the product, be that ambassador, and know that once you become a coach and you get that and you sign those checks and you get those coins, you're an ambassador, and it's your responsibility to make the brand shine and make yourself shine as a coach, because that's what's going to get people to come back to you. That's what's going to make your social media shine, and it's going to make you a happier person, because you're going to love seeing all these people engage with you on social. I love when I get likes and it's like over 30, but that's just me because I'm crazy about social. But that's all I got. I know it was a lot of information, but that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So.
Thank you, Michelle. That was awesome. So I want to quickly recap a couple things that you said, and I want to highlight them because I wholeheartedly agree with what you said. The first one was when you were talking about making your mark. You were talking about being able to understand that Beachbody is not who you are. It's a part of who you are. So we play multiple roles, and you're absolutely right. If you would go to my bio, for example, on Instagram, I do not list that I'm a Beachbody coach because that's something I'm a part of, but there's so much more to me. And I'll mention there how I'm a mom. I'll mention there how I'm an entrepreneur, how I'm a fitness business mentor, because those are the things that I do, right? And that's the big picture of me. If I were to sit there and just vomit Beachbody all the time, it does come off as if you're just trying to sell something or just labeling yourself, and that labels, guess what, almost 400,000 other people, right? Because there's a lot of coaches out there. So what separates me? And I try to always keep that in mind, that Beachbody is a part of myself, of what I do, but it's not everything that I am. So go out there and rethink. If you've got that you're putting out there that you're a Beachbody coach, well, how else could you possibly put that? A fitness business mentor, an accountability coach. There's many ways to say it that'll really give a better idea, because people don't know exactly what Beachbody is. Okay. The other thing that you mentioned is when you were talking about mixing it up, you say that you always ask yourself, would I like this? That was powerful, because a lot of times what happens is that, and I get it, I could understand where this mistake is made. While we're trying to help others, we're also trying to take care of ourselves, right? So we're going on this fitness journey, and while being a coach helps you stay accountable in your own fitness and your own nutrition, we have to understand that if we really want a business built, Our social media has to use as that platform. And if we're using our social media for our own accountability solely, people are going to see that. They're going to understand that it's just our own personal hobby. They're going to think that, oh, okay, well, there's Selena. She works out. She looks great. They're not going to understand that there's a place for them in this equation, that we can help them. Okay, so when you're putting out material, you're putting out either food, like Michelle said, or workouts, make sure that it has value. You know, if you're putting out food and you're talking about 21-day fix, well, you know, what value do you have? Or you have a challenge group coming up. Is there a post nearby that food that is going to explain what the 21-day fix is and how I can help somebody else? If you were to go to, and I'm telling you because I did this, I went and studied other successful Beachbody coaches and how they presented themselves on social media. If I'm talking about 21-day fix food, there's got to be a post where I'm inviting for my next challenge. And go and watch and look at that. There is theory behind everything that I do. It's strategy. It's not just thrown out there like Michelle said, vomiting your whole day using your social media as a journal, but it's targeting. It's working with intent on what you want to do. And our job is to go out there to attract people that we can help. So make sure your posts are doing that and you're not just using it as your own accountability group. Breadcrumb your story. That was awesome. She was talking about tell your story in different ways. Maybe you could tell your story using Throwback Thursday, you know? Like she said, your Throwback Thursday could be the day you signed as a coach, and you could tell your story. You could breadcrumb your story out by using that hashtag. Brilliant. That's really good stuff. And the last thing that she talked about was appreciate your audience. And I think you guys have heard me say before, don't just try to be interesting. Try to as well be interested in other people. So that means that if you're always there, well, look at me, I'm doing great, you gotta join me, but you're not out there learning your audience, getting to know them, liking their pictures, commenting on their stuff, then there's not gonna get that connection. There's gonna be a break in it, right? The key to this business, and Selena said it, it's not just a product business. It's a service business. It's a business of connection. It's a business of this community, this feel like you're not in this alone, that this health journey that's so personal, so intimate, so emotional for a lot of people, they're not alone. But they're going to feel alone if they don't feel that connection where just as involved as they are in your life, you are in theirs. And you're out there, you know, saying how cute their kid is or wishing them luck on a hard day at work or, you know, something big that's happening for them, their birthday. All these are chances to connect with people. So great stuff. I will wrap it up with when Michelle said that our goal should be not to be like every other company out there or, you know, where we're just marketing ourselves. Carl said this brilliantly when he says we are not a multi-level marketing company. We are a multi-level helping company. Your job is to go out there with the intention to help others while you help yourself. And if you do that, if you have that mentality, that mindset, okay, what I'm putting out, is it going to give value to somebody? Is it going to catch their attention? Is it going to help them? Then you know you've done your job right. So guys, I'll leave it with one more other suggestion because this was my homework. You guys know that I talk to Kim Carver weekly, and this is the homework he gave me, was to read this book called Jab, 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 Right Hook. It's a book all on social media, how to effectively run your social media, and I'm sure a lot of the points that Michelle made will be in this book. I have not read it yet, but if Kim Carver's telling me to read it, I'm going to tell you to do the same. So with that, we'll wrap it up, guys. Thanks for joining us, and have a great night. Any questions you may have, anything, please direct them to Michelle or Selena. I'm sure they'll be happy to answer them. You can also plug them into the team page. Perhaps they'll help somebody else. Have a great night. Thanks, guys. Thanks so much.